Hello and welcome to the 2024 season of Main Stage Productions here at the Miskatonic Playhouse. I'm TA Newman, your host. My team and I will be bringing to life adventures using the 7th edition Call of Cthulhu role-playing game, which contains mature themes, cosmic horror, character death, and loss of sanity. Our mystery can be found in the Miskatonic repository, where people like you and me can write an adventure for others to play. We'd like to thank Sirenscape, whose tools have helped provide the background sounds that you'd hear. And we'd also like to thank Dungeon Fog for supporting tonight's game by providing map assets and tools which bring the game to life on the Roll20 virtual tabletop. And if you'd like to become a friend of the Playhouse, then please support us on Ko-fi. That's ko-fi.com/Miskatonic Playhouse, where you can gain access to exclusive shows and content for as little as £1. Now, it's time to pull back the curtain and roll the dice.
Thank you. Welcome to tonight's game of The Hammersmith Haunting. I'm Cosmic, your keeper of arcane lore. First time in the chair, a little bit nervous, but we have a fine cast to help me through this adventure. Please, investigators, introduce yourselves.
I'm TA Newman, the host of the Miskatonic Playhouse. I'm very happy to be handing that over to Cosmic tonight, because tonight I get to play my old friend, Kirk McDougal, who's an occult historian.
Hi everybody, I'm Lydia, and tonight I'm playing Darian Sterling, who is a dilettante. He's a very charming fellow with equally fond of wine and animals.
And I'm Stu, producer of the Miskatonic Playhouse, and tonight I shall be playing Dr. Phyllis Marquette, a physician and a slightly more skeptical investigator. Most things that we put down to the paranormal are just biological things we have not yet discovered.
How dare you, sir?
Madam.
Marvellous.
Doctor.
How dare you, Dr. Madam?
Joining us tonight, we shall have extra help for this fantastic scenario. We will have a preview of the maps that will soon be available on Roll20 from the marvellous folk at Dungeon Fog. And also joining us in the audio spectrum of things, we will be having marvellous sounds from the good folks at Sirenscape. In fact, let's get started and we'll introduce the Hammersmith Haunting. It is 1890. It is the borough of Hammersmith, and things are not going right. You were expecting to be visited by a reverend, but the reverend didn't show for his meeting. If you have a look at Roll20, you will see that there is a letter waiting for you. We jump into Roll20. We'll open up this letter and I shall ask somebody to read it to us. Kirk, please could you read this letter that, you were expecting Vicar John Collins to attend your club.
Let's have a look here. Vicar John Collins, St. Paul's Church, Hammersmith, 14th of October, 1890. I write to you urgently with some incredible news. My church is currently being rebuilt, and in the rubble of the building site I discovered a medieval chest with a letter in it. You would not believe it, but it seems the Templars were here in Hammersmith in the 12th century. If the contents of this document are true, it could change the history books. You have a unique perspective on these things, and I would value your input on the veracity of this document. I do not wish to elaborate further on the contents until you can help me establish whether the letter is real or fake. Otherwise, I might end up looking an absolute fool. Your friend and fellow in knowledge, Vicar John Collins.
Marvellous, Vicar John Collins, who, well, he was supposed to be a very punctual chap, but he hasn't shown. Now, this being the Priory Club, you look after your members. The Priory Club is an accepting organisation, one of these forward-thinking organisations that let anybody join, whether they are rich, poor, so long as they have an interest, as long as they have a common shared enjoyment of all the pursuits of the Priory Club. And that's why the leader of the Priory Club has dispatched you to Hammersmith, and you find yourselves sitting in a carriage, touring London and talking to each other. And in fact, it gives you a chance to reminisce about your first time approaching the Priory Club. Dr. Phyllis Marquette, what drew you to this forward-thinking Priory Club?
As one of the first female surgeons at St. Thomas and Guy's Hospital, one had a lot of boundaries and hurdles to jump across. Finding a club that supported one's endeavours, finding a club that was accepting of one's position, well, it means a lot. And Dr. Phyllis Marquette is a proud member of the club, having met a lot of other forward-thinking individuals there, and helped a couple of them on the path to medicine itself.
Marvellous, Dr. Marquette. And of your colleagues in the carriage travelling with you tonight, who did you first approach?
I don't know.
Surely it must have been the enigmatic Kirk McDougal. Could you probably hear them across the room? Kirk, wait, when you first entered the Priory Club, what did you make of it?
Well, I was brought in by my old friend Algernon, and immediately there was a collective, I suppose you might call them fanatic base of people who wanted to hear about my occult readings and research, and being one of the most, well, if not the prominent source of occult history in London, I often talk quite loudly from across the room where people can hear me.
I see. And Darian Sterling, were you in the Priory Club on such a night as Kirk was having an audience?
Oh, yes. Well, I'd heard there was going to be this lecture about some explorer type who'd been breeding parrots, and in fact, that was where I got my dear Mrs. Cheveley from. My dear parrot, Mrs. Cheveley. She's a beautiful macaw. You'll have to come and see her. But anyway, yes, so that's how I first learned of the club, and well, it's so very modern, isn't it? It's the 20th century is nearly upon us, and it's about time we all started thinking in 20th century ways.
Absolutely. Indeed.
Glad you agree, madam. Doctor,
And-
I'm so sorry, doctor.
And at what talk do you think it was that you found yourselves sitting together and got to know each other? Darian, what drew you to this enigmatic female doctor?
Well, she seemed so very interesting and so very self-possessed, and I do so like self-possessed people. And yes, she just seemed to have such a way about her that I thought I must get to know this doctor. She seemed very much of a similar kind of outlook on the world.
And Kirk, was that a similar impression you got?
When I heard Darian talking about a self-possessed doctor, I naturally assumed it was something to do with the occult and one of the many people that I would have encountered. But Dr. Marquette is quite the intriguing individual. Shame they don't have much imagination. Not one, not a believer, I would say.
What is there to believe in? Anything that you purport to be supernatural has an explanation. Science has an answer for all things, sir. And if you would raise your eyes from your esoteric books and look around, I'm sure you would find the answers yourself.
Shame on you, Doctor. Until we know what magic is, it eventually becomes science, which becomes natural order and law. Magic, death, supernatural, occult, the esoteric, it is science we just don't understand yet, so we give it labels. Are you a labeler?
I am indeed a labeler. Life has order. Order leads to life.
Death has order, and death leads to the esoteric. I'll see you there soon, Dr. Marquette.
Darian, what did you make of this exchange? This friendly banter between the opposites, it would seem.
Well, Darian has been refilling his wine glass and kind of nodding along with one and then nodding along with the other and then going back and agreeing with the first position. Oh, I don't really know what I believe in all honesty, but isn't it important? The most important thing is that we can talk about these things and that we can exchange our ideas and then we all have a good old glass of wine together and have a good old dinner together and this is the way forwards, don't you think? You know, no matter what you believe or you don't believe, that we can really just discuss matters as friends.
What I like about you, Darian, is that there's never a fence you don't sit on. Very good, very good.
And you're a good egg.
One thing we all agree on is a good glass of wine is good for the constitution, what?
Yeah,
yes, Doctor.
Yeah.
Indeed.
You must try this latest one. He pours a glass of whichever wine that he is currently enamored with.
Well, Darian, let's start the rolls of this evening. Would you like to give me a roll in your very special skill?
Yes, I have a skill I haven't seen before of wineology. Now, I've only got 40 in it, so perhaps he's not the expert he thinks he is, but we shall see. And that was a failure of 60 against 40. Perhaps he's been indulging a little too much tonight.
Delicious.
And this is probably a faux pas of wine choice that you don't really let Darian forget. And as you're travelling across London towards Hammersmith in this handsome cab, what do you make of this letter to the club from the vicar?
Did this one letter, Keeper, did it arrive for all three of us?
Vicar Collins was due to attend the Priory Club. Consequently, he hasn't shown up until you've been given this letter to find out a little bit more about what has happened to the chap. Where is he? Is he going to come to the Priory Club? You know, you don't want to have him stuck somewhere and without aid. He's a guest of the Priory Club, and he will extend all courtesy and assistance to these people. So more to the club than individuals. But one of you might have met the Reverend before?
He probably attended one of my talks at the club, no doubt.
Possibly even protested outside one of your talks at the club.
Yes. Very outspoken man, lovely.
I believe he attended one of the dissection lectures I was giving to Thomas and Guys.
Marvelous. Probably asking questions about the soul and quite what happens to the soul as the body is opened, shall we say. But the carriage pushes on, and the familiar streets of where the Priory Club is give way to, well, a slightly less illuminated part of London. And sure enough, you eventually arrive at you think you arrive at the destination as the cabbie pulls up and says, "All right then, folks, here we are. There's Hammersmith. If you'd like to get out and I'll pay my bill, I'll be on my way. Yeah, there we go."
Thank you, good sir. And would you be able to point us into the direction of St. Paul's Church? And Dr. Marquette tosses him a couple of pennies.
Well, thank you very much, Doctor. Those barbarians around here. Everything's so dark since
Night time.
Who wants to give me a psychology roll?
Absolutely.
Oh, Kirk.
Oh, I might as well try.
Can read people like a book.
96 over 30. That's a fumble, isn't it?
That is indeed a fumble, which we shall come back to.
A
Kirk,
hard success with 21 under 60.
you know London cabbies. This chap is stumbling for his words. Cabbies usually talk the hind leg off the proverbial donkey. Someone up with his chap, and with that hard success, you think he might be afraid of something.
Oh, cabby. What's wrong with your chatterbox?
How do you mean, sir? How do you mean? And he's looking over his shoulder.
Listen, boy, your fear is my specialty, and I see in you that you're 2 cobble streets away from wetting yourself. What's going on?
Oh, well, nothing. As soon as I get back in my cab, I'll be white as Wayne. Back across the river. Don't need to worry about me, sir. No, you'll be on your way. Now, you did say...
You're not be worried about me?
Oh, how do you mean, sir? You look like you can handle yourself, sir.
I guarantee, but you said as soon as you're back across the river, not to worry about you. We're staying here. Is it Paul's Cathedral Church?
Well, look around you, sir, and you do look around you, and you can't really see much. There is a pervading fog that seems to end at the bridge, and you're standing in this pool of gaslight. But the horses are a little bit nervous. The cabbie keeps looking into the mist, trying to see something that's there. Yeah. Well, actually, I'm sure there's a pub round here. Literally at the end of the bridge. If you go and ask in there. I'm sure they'll be able to give you directions. If you excuse me, I'll be and Dr. Marquette. What a pleasant chap. This is the height of London cabbie politeness. And you're very glad you gave him that couple of pennies. I mean, what more could you possibly want from the gentleman?
Salt of the earth fellow.
Absolutely. Darian, what do you make of this cabbie chap?
Well, I had a failure of 34 against 10, so I don't think he noticed anything in particular different about him. He just seemed to be doing his job and wants to get back, presumably back north of the river to see where there's some higher fares, maybe.
There we go. Kirk, are you willing to let this matter drop with this cabbie? Let him get on his way, or...?
No, I think I'm kind of getting out of now I'm out of the cab. I'm there, my kind of walking with my cane, and I feel for the notebook that's in my pocket. But before I pull it out, I've not really got anything to write in it yet. I just know that he's scared of something. I'll just say, right, you listen to me, young'un. I appreciate you want to get out of here, but I'll let you go as soon as you bloody tell me what it is that you're afraid of.
Well, I think that's going to be a social please. What would you like to try? Is charm, persuade, fast talk, intimidate?
Let's have a little look, see here. So, not charm. I'm not charming.
He's not a charm, is Kirk. Okay.
I'm not intimidating either. Actually, do you know what? I think it's going to be... I think intimidate. I think in the way that I said that line, it was more of a look. I'll let you go when you've told me this. Even though it's it's a lower stat. These social skills aren't really Kirk style, but he's going to give it a whirl.
Fair enough. Okay, let's see what we get.
Oh, a 57 over 15.
58,
a significant fail.
Okay, Dr. Marquette, Darian, do you pick up this tone of Kirk's, or you silly Phyllis, you wonder why Kirk is getting out of hand? Darian, how about yourself?
Yes, I think he has picked up that Kirk is being a little bit aggressive, but I think he's one of these people who just doesn't ever see bad in people because he just wants people to be nice to each other, and he's nice to everybody, and he doesn't really get why Kirk can be like this, but I think he just accepts him as that's the way he is. So I don't think he sees it as anything out of character. Maybe
Fair
there's
enough.
a tiny bit of a raised eyebrow, a tiny bit of a I wish you wouldn't kind of look. But he's also too well bred to take a friend to task in front
Fair
of
enough.
other people.
Fair enough. The cabbie looks at you. Well, look, sir, I do appreciate the fair and everything like that, but if you know, and I do like you, sir, but if you know what's good for you, finish your business in Hammersmith as quick as you can, and then skill off back over the river, and think nothing of it. I don't think this place is right no more. And he goes to gee his horse up and scoot back across the river, unless there is any last words you would like to say to him.
Oh, sorry, please, Dr. Marquette.
What a very nice chap, is all I can say.
Nice chap.
I'll rather
Darian
than
also
speaking to the
gives-
cabbie, I'll turn around to Darian and Dr. Marquette and just echo those last words. This place ain't right no more.
Hmm.
Well, it's frightfully exciting, don't you think? And Darian
do.
gives a much larger tip than Dr. Marquette did.
I wish I could. I wish I could stay, but maybe I'll come back when it's light and pick you home. Yeah, do excuse me. And he Jesus horns
Good
up,
man.
does a complete U-turn, and well, does make his way back across the river, leaving you at the end of the Hammersmith Bridge. Now, he didn't give you any directions to the church. He did seem to indicate there is some sort of pub nearby. But this fog is thick. There's a pea super phrase that was used. This is a little bit more intense than that. And unfortunately for you at the moment, your spot hidden is going to be at a penalty dice. But your stealth is going to be at a bonus die, should you need to stealth for any reason. What are your plans? You need to find the Reverend. Presumably he would be at the church.
Darian, do you know where this church is?
Oh no, this is quite outside of my normal neighborhood, but if only you could see more than your hand in front of your face. It's a difficult one. I suppose we should try and just follow this road along until we find this pub, and maybe if we can look up, perhaps we could just see the shadow of a spire or something. I don't know.
Oh, good idea.
Go on
Doctor,
an adventure. What?
what do you think we get a drink, Doctor, and we'll make sure that Darian's not choosing, shall we?
Well, I think that's probably our best way of finding the church as well. Ask the locals. They'll know.
Nah, the local drunkards. Let's go.
Okay. Would somebody like to give me a navigator roll with a penalty dice in this strange fog?
Oh, I've only got navigate of 10, but I'm going to try.
I think
Darian,
that was a loaded
Doctor.
question.
If we were to rate our navigation skills from 0 to 100, does anybody have anything above a 10?
Dear,
Well,
oh dear.
Phyllis starts walking backwards with a 94 over 10.
Yeah, there we go. Suffice to say, you stride forward and walk into this fog. Now, as you walk through this fog, you feel it. You can sense it. There's a wet, glistening touch to this as you drift your hand through it. It feels odd, very odd. So odd, in fact, I'd like you all to give me SAN rolls, please. You're not going to lose any sanity here. I just want to see whether or not this is how your character is coping with this.
That is a hard success, 25 under 55 for Phyllis.
Marvellous.
That's a failure of 49 against 45 for Darian.
And that's a failure for Kirk with 70 over 40.
Phyllis,
Right.
being a collector of biological specimens preserved in formaldehyde, is no stranger to slimy things. So this is just another day in the office, really.
Indeed. So, because of those two failures, Darian and Kirk, what was said by the cabbie sits on your mind. This place isn't right. That is even more so. You feel a shiver come across you. Please could I get a power roll from Darian and Kirk, please?
72 over 40, a fail from me.
64 against 45. Darian is definitely a bit discomforted. This is not his normal kind of environment.
This is not Darian's normal kind of environment. And it is with this you actually feel a little afraid. You're beginning to think, maybe you should turn around and head back to the Priory Club and say, oh, we couldn't find it. But there is something about this, certainly for you, Kirk. It's not the first time you've been afraid. You know the real occult side of things. This is the real deal.
I think Kirk feels the hackles of the hair on the back of his neck stand on end, ripple up the spine, and pulls out his notebook, and he goes to write down what he's experiencing, the fog, the glistening slime, and then almost stops. The cane sat on the crook of his arm. Just the shiver puzzles him, and he doesn't know what to write down. And that feeling of being scared, that is what scares him more than anything else.
Darian, how do you react to this shiver that goes down your spine?
It's a very strange feeling, and it's a very unfamiliar feeling. Darian doesn't live a life where he is frightened. Often he is a very happy person. He's got a lovely home. He's got a lovely relationship with Augustine and all his lovely animals, all his pets that they share. He's not used to being unhappy or scared or nervous at all. And he doesn't know what to make of it. This is very new.
Right. You push on just a little bit, believing you know the direction. And I will ask for spot hiddens from everybody. Remember, sadly, we're still in the fogs. That's a penalty dice.
Well, bugger. I did have a 16 under 25, but with my penalty die, it's 66 over 25.
Can I steal some luck for you?
Oh.
I'm happy to.
Not 40 points of luck, I'm afraid. I'll save that for later.
Okay. And it is these failed spot hiddens that, well, you definitely feel something is out there. And before long, you hear a strange but somewhat earthly voice calling out to you. You spooks, stay where you are, or I'll blow you back to wherever hell you've come from. And sharply walking into your view is an elderly woman flanked by two rather large gentlemen who appear to be twins of some sort. You don't need a spot hidden to know that she is brandishing a double-barreled shotgun, and they are pointing it at, well...
Phyllis.
Let's roll a 1d3 and see what we get. 1 to 2, it is Kirk. 3 to 4, Phyllis. 5 to 6, Darian. And that is a 3.
Who are they pointing it at?
Yeah, pointing it at Phyllis.
Unfortunately.
Dr. Marquette. Now, Dr. Marquette, please could you give me a firearms roll as you look down the barrel of this gun?
Well, Phyllis is rather handy with a handgun and has unfortunately failed with 72 over 70. However, I think this is the perfect chance to spend 2 points of luck.
Marvellous.
That is
You
a
spend
regular
those
success.
2 points of luck to notice. This lady means business. This is a double-barreled shotgun with a hair trigger. If you sneeze, she's likely to shoot. So, what would you like to say to the gunshot granny who is pointing a gun at you? But, as I say, it's primed and ready to go.
My dear lady, we mean you no harm. We are simply travellers looking to find the church. Now, if you know the location and can point us in the direction, we shall leave you to your business about this evening.
You see, boys, the spirits are after the graves. They're going to rob them all. They're going to come back in the bodies of the dead. No, I'm going to stop you. You stay there, you horrible spirit. I'm gonna. And she sort of is looking.
It's all right. It's all
The
right.
gun whips round at you, Kirk.
It's okay. Everybody just calm down. No. I understand what you're saying about spirits, and I hear what you're saying. You might know my name. My name is Kirk McDougal, and I'm somewhat of a occult specialist. I know about the spirits. I can assure you, my dear fine lady, that these are not spirits. This is a mere doctor of medicine, and this is a poor man's wine taster. There is no, and I kind of smirk to Darian as I say that as well. There are no spirits here, but we are here to see your friend. We apologize for the intrusion and hope that we can pass you and your healthy-looking grown boys there.
A mere doctor? And Phyllis,
She whips the shotgun back round to you.
a mere doctor? Please pay no attention to that gentleman there. No mere doctor.
Careful, boys. This one's getting a bit feisty. Kirk,
It's all
please.
right.
Let's all just take a moment. I'm sure nobody here is mere, and nobody here needs to be pointing a gun at anybody else. Madam, if you wouldn't mind just lowering the barrel just a tad, and let's discuss this. As you can see, we are no spirits. Gentlemen, lady, please let's just be calm.
Darian, please could I get an appearance roll from you?
You can. What have I got for appearance? I am a bit of a dandy. I spend a lot of time on my appearance every morning, although a lot of that is also just brushing off the cat hair from Lady Windermere, the Persian, who runs the household. I have 70 app. Ooh, and that was a regular success of 49 against 70.
Fantastic. Now, the lady points the gun at you but lowers it a little bit. Do you want to follow that up with a charm roll to see what you can do? You'll get a bonus dice on this charm roll with that successful appearance.
Absolutely. He gives a big smile, big open smile. He's got one of those very sunny faces where when he smiles, it just feels like all's right with the world, really. And so he's just going to give that smile and just say, that's much better. Now, we're on our way to the pub. Perhaps I could buy you and your two strapping boys a nice glass of brandy or gin or whatever you fancy. It's on me.
Hit me with that charm roll with a bonus dice.
Okay. Well, without the charm roll, it's a normal success of 68 against 70.
Normal success.
That would have been a fail without if that was a penalty. But it's not. Hurrah.
There we go. The lady breaks her shotgun. She opens it up. It's now across her arms. Well, Oh, well, you have to excuse me. Things have been a little fraught over the past few days. It's all a bit strange. Me and me cousins come out and keep the streets safe at night from spooks and ghosts and all sorts of things. But you've got to watch yourself round here. I've seen.
And she looks conspiratorial
goodness.
at you.
I've seen her.
Well,
I've seen her, you know. I didn't let her see me. If she sees you, she'll oh, I tell you.
Seen who?
She looks round at Kirk.
Are you sure you're not a ghost? You seem to know an awful lot about that geezer who writes those weird books.
I don't know a geezer who writes weird books. I'm just interested.
I have my notepad and my pen in my hand as I'm
Intrigued.
madam, I can assure you that Mr. McDougal is no ghost. Now, let's go and find that drink, shall we? And he offers his arm with a flourish.
Oh, with a flourish. But
Dear lady. And he also doffs his hat.
It's you've come up the wrong way for sure. You need to be heading back towards the river. I'll go guide you the way. And so, what brings you over to the Hammersmith this time of night?
Well, we're looking for a friend of ours, aren't we?
Yeah.
You're
Looking for a
Reverend.
Reverend. Vicar
Reverend
Collins?
Collins.
Vicar John Collins?
Oh,
Do you know
right,
him,
okay.
madam?
Oh, who doesn't? We go to his church all the time, but now you'll find him down at the down at Black Lion. You know, it's yeah.
The Black Lion is that the
be-
pub that
yeah, sure,
we're heading to?
We'll be going down there. No problem.
She stops and
Excellent.
looks around. She actually cocks a shotgun.
Did you feel that? Did you feel that weirdness? Very strange. Very strange.
How would you describe that weirdness, lovely lady?
Well, it's all strange, you see. We're going along, mind our own business, and then this fog just came out. One night, about 4 days ago, I lose track of time. And it just stayed there, over and around, up to no good. And oh my Lord, the dreams we've been having. I tell him the dreams we've been having. Nightmares, this ghostly lady. She'll come out of you, and she'll make you submit to her will. But no, we won't submit. We are Hammersmith born and bred, and this is where we're going to stay. And that's why I got my own mother's recipe for ghost bullets, and that's when me and my cousins are patrolling. Yeah, patrolling the streets. We are. Yeah, you felt it, haven't you? You felt it. I could tell.
Yeah.
Dr. Marquette's ears prick up with the mention of dreams, the field of psychology at the moment, obviously fairly early. The alienists hold sway, but it's definitely something that Dr. Marquette has read about, and I think would like to know more about these dreams. Although there's a certain amount of feeling that maybe this lady has been into a different type of spirit through spouting this nonsense.
Would you like to give me a medicine roll to see if indeed this lady has been at the old other type of spirit?
Oh, yes, please. That is a 50 under 70, a regular success.
Right. You notice a slight tot, maybe, but certainly she is speaking the truth. She is not incapacitated with drink at this time. What questions would you like to ask her?
Madam, these dreams, was it the white lady that you mentioned?
Well, it's a ghostly sort of lady, so yeah, she's sort of white. Yeah.
You say that you and others have been experiencing these dreams. Have you told other people of the dreams that you've been having?
Well, only me cousins have really sort of like, it's weird, you know. It won't let us go. It's got us trapped here. You know,
we tried crossing the bridge that sometimes leads out to away from Hammersmith.
We can't find it. It's in the fog somewhere. We can find all about the places, but we just can't find this bridge. It don't want us to let us go. It wants us. It wants us. That's the thing, madam. You know, when we look and we go to sleep. I mean, that's why I stay up most of the night patrolling. I go to sleep during the day. You know, me and my cousins, they are well, we're just terrified, you know.
And you say people, it gets them. Have we had any confirmed victims of this ghost?
You just don't see people around here. I mean, listen. You listen, there is no bird songs. There are no nightingales, even though we are pretty far from Berkeley Square. There are no nightingales. There's no dogs barking. There's no howling. It is deathly silent.
Acoustic differences. It's just a dampening of the sound from this damned fog.
No. Don't play it down, Doctor. This isn't one of your explaining it away with basic science. This lady is talking about a general concern here, a spirit trapped affecting the world. My dear lady, may I ask, you mentioned the lady in the dreams that have become nightmares, the you are submitting to her will. Do you have any direction on what the lady in white's will is?
I think, well, I mean, the dreams are very, very surreal, sir. When I have a kip or something like that, I feel like I'm being drawn to a faraway land. She gazes out into the fog, and I know if I go there, I'll have to submit to her will. I don't want to, you know. Our Majesty, that's one rule is enough for me. But
I see.
you have to like be sensible and, you know, control your will. It's all about controlling your willpower. She's not going to get me, that's for sure. But she'll call you as well. She calls me.
What do you think she wants of you? What do you think she wants you to do?
What do all rulers want? They want you to bow down. You know, you either have a nice one like what we got, or, you know, some terrible person will just like want you to bow down and do their slavery and all that horrible stuff. And oh, yeah, not nice, not nice at all.
Well, that sounds unpleasant. Who do you think she is?
I couldn't tell you. I'm not a learned person, like I say. I'm born in Hammersmith, die in Hammersmith. Well, hopefully not too soon, but no. I say, you know, I just don't want to fall under a spell. And I'm sorry to say, you're trapped here with us now, and you cross over that bridge, you're stuck.
I'm sure we're not stuck. I'm sure there'll be a cab along whenever we need to leave. And you'll see, it'll all turn out all right in the end. It'll all come out in the wash.
Keep telling yourself that. That's good. I think we're nearly at the pub now, actually. Go now, speak to Mr. Soap. He'll sort you out. But I'm good. Me and my cousins are going to head back around just in case we see her, because, like I say, I've got this stuff, and we'll put an end to her. It'll put an end to us.
Can I? What is in your special ghost bullets?
Oh, that's a mother's secret, that is.
Oh,
give me an occult roll, Kirk.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, there we go.
That is a 93 over 55. Could
Marvelous.
I push the roll?
You could very well push the roll, indeed.
I think I have an idea for the push, if that's...
Hit me with the push. I also have an idea. Let's hear what you say.
My idea, well, and I'm happy to acquiesce to your designs, Cosmic, but my idea was that perhaps I'm leaning over to the cocked shotgun and maybe even attempting to remove one of the shells.
I think that could be in order. Please lean closer to the shotgun and yes, make that a cold.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Oh.
This is going to be the fastest character death on the Playhouse to date.
Fortunately, you carefully, although a little quickly, look at this gun, and you can see that this is a good mixture. You can smell a bit of garlic in here. There's some salt. There's some other kind of herbs. General kind of things. You can't really say you've heard of these being fired out of a gun at a spirit, but this is the kind of thing you will, you would put a circle of salt around an area to ward off spirit. You'd have certain types of herbs that would...
Iron fillings, perhaps.
All the kind of things that, would just about, have been used in witchcraft, warding good spirits, that kind of thing.
Do I'm assuming I just noticed that. I don't necessarily get to keep the bullet, do I?
It's a shotgun shell, so unless you have a shotgun,
I don't have one yet.
I don't have one yet. She is quite. Well, I suppose you can have a couple. Here you go, and she gives you a couple of the shotgun shells.
Oh, let me give you a few pennies. That's very generous of you, and hugely appreciated. No.
Kind.
You're doing a bloody good service out here with your cousin, so there you go.
That's right. Well, as I say, you head into the pub, and we're going to go back out on patrol. We know it's going to be a bit of a long night.
If you fancy a nightcap when you're done, I'll make sure that the barman keeps a bottle of something nice behind the bar, just for you.
That's very kind of you, madam. Very, very kind. And with that, she disappears into the fog. Would you please give me a navigate roll? I'm not looking for pass and fail. I'm just looking to see if you fumble. Okay, that's a 10.
77 over 10, no fumble.
No fumbles. There we go. Okay, so you roughly follow the directions, and sure enough, you are drawn in by the glow of some lights, and you see a 2-story building. You do indeed hear the rivers just off to. You think it's your left, so maybe that's where it could be. But you do see, and you begin to hear. This is the thing about this fog. It damps down sound, so you wouldn't be even sure whether or not you're hearing the right people. But indeed, you arrive outside the Black Lion Inn, and a wooden sign creaks in the wind. It's a chilled wind. And it is a replica of a black lion sculpture of the Trafalgar Square. Now, the scenario doesn't contain any kind of reference to the significance of the Black Lions, but would there be a historian amongst us who might be able to tell a tale of the Black Lions of Trafalgar Square?
Would that be me?
Don't know. Might our doctor know something about Black Lions?
The Black Lions are... I'm half remembering here. No, actually, I'm coming up a bit of a blank there. They're not made from... They were... I thought they were a 21st century edition, but
Not entirely
be
sure,
correct.
but as I say, there is a replica of the Black Lion outside. But are we stepping into the Black Lion?
well, I think,
we
Phyllis
should.
Phyllis has had enough of this talk of ghosts and the fog, and frankly, if it will keep people's minds a little bit more focused on finding the church, then into the pub we go.
Let me get the door for you, Doctor.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
What
sir.
a gentleman. And you step into the Black Lion pub now. Let me just direct you to roll 21 second where I can move you over to interior of the Black Lion pub.
Pub.
There we go. So you are entering in this front door here, and it's a quiet little area. This map is a preview of the maps that will be available in Roll20 for the Hammersmith Haunting, created in Dungeon Fog. So let me come back to you. So yes, you walk into this quaint little pub, and you are greeted. Hello there, folks. What can I do for you? My name is Mr. Soak, and I'm the proprietor of this fine establishment. Do come in, me old charters, and do take the weight off your plates, if you catch my meaning.
A brandy to warm the bones, please, sir.
Very good, madam. And gentlemen...
Well, before we go any further, my friend here is a bit of a wine connoisseur. I was thinking, we had this, Darian showed me this in a pub we went into, Mr. Soak, where we went into the pub and they bought us 3 small tumblers worth of different wines. It was a tasting of sorts.
Oh, tasting. You would like to taste it. Do you like tasting things, sir? Do you?
Well,
Oh,
indeed,
yes, definitely.
Right. Wine, you say? Wine.
Exactly, but
Wine.
could you
Okay.
keep the labels off the tasting glasses? I'd like to test my friend Darian's knowledge here, if that's okay.
I don't think that would be a problem, sir, at all.
Dr. Marquette, would you join us?
Not entirely sure we have labels on this wine, but it's fine. It's fine.
If you're buying, Mr. McDougal, I shall of course partake.
Absolutely,
I'd
my
still
treat.
like that brandy.
Well,
Mr. Soak?
here
On me,
you go,
please.
folks. Is a brandy for the good lady, and right, let me go and find some wine for you. He scurries off to the back room.
It's going to be just 3 glasses out of the same barrel, isn't it? Definitely.
They have
We
more than
don't
one
know
type of wine
that.
here.
Maybe slightly more watered down in one of them.
Anybody see Vicar Collins around? Didn't they say that he might be in here?
Yes. Well, and Darian looks around and sees if he can see them.
Okay. You
The
look
vicar?
around, and there's a good few people in here, but they're very quiet. A couple of people are drinking in the corner, sullenly looking into their drinks. There is a lady of the night sitting there talking to somebody who's clearly not interested or possibly doesn't have any money. And just general people sitting around, kind of just being more than anything else.
I'm going to go up to someone, keeper. Are there on the 2 large sofas that are near the fireplace? Who sat
Indeed.
there?
That is where the Lady of the Night is sitting, opposite a person who you're not entirely sure whether there's a transaction going on, but from the way they're looking, business is probably very far from their mind.
Can I tell the individual's, should we say, social standing?
Yes, lower than yours.
I will go over and take a seat, maybe opposite them on the other sofa if they're sitting together on the one sofa.
Okay.
And I'll sit down, spread out, put my cane to the side, and kind of nod Darian and Dr. Marquette over. But before they come over, I just say, "Oh, lovely to make your acquaintance, you two.
I'm looking for a friend of mine. You haven't seen a vicar? And then I'll look at the lady of the night. You probably know a vicar or two, don't you?
They both look at you slightly aghast, and then they look down to their drinks. They don't actually say anything.
Oh, you interrupted, have I? Apologies. Didn't realize it was, trade secret or not. I thought business was out in the open, but apologies. Should I leave you two to it? I don't mean to intrude. I was just going to invite my friends over, but we might be happy at the table if you're, conducting business.
Do what you like, sir. We don't mind. We're just here for the warmth, really.
Just here for the warmth. Okay. But the vicar, you've seen the vicar, yes?
Yeah. I think he's upstairs, sir.
You think he's upstairs? Are you okay? I'll say quietly. Are you okay? You seem a little, reserved.
Well, you've been outside, sir, haven't you?
Yes?
You've been in the mist, the fog, sir?
Yes?
Well, then. I'm not going out there.
Yes. Have you seen her?
Okay, give me a... what do you want to use for that? Are you being charming, persuasive? Or how would you like to approach this, Kirk?
My social stats are terrible, which suits me as a person. So that's handy. Can I use charm with the idea that I'm not being charming because it's a low stat and I feel like I've come over and I've bouldered my way in and I'm attempting to charm, but because I'm not very good at it, I feel that that's the stat to use. Does that okay?
Yep, hit me with the charm roll. Let's see what you can get.
Bugger.
Okay.
31 over 15.
They look at you and they do appreciate you being polite and nice. And yeah, but okay, I guess it's nice to see a different face. Yeah. What's your name, sir? My name's Gladys. Are you Ron? Yeah, I'm Ron. Yeah, it's Ron.
Gladys?
I'm writing this down in my notebook.
And Ron?
Oh, you learned, sir?
Well, you might say so. I've written a few books and a few papers, given a few lectures. My specialty is,
And realizing who I'm talking to and what they've been talking about, I go a bit quieter.
It's the world of the occult, spiritualism, ghosts and demons. I think perhaps I'm in the right place this evening. Is that fair to say?
Is that a little blasphemous, sir? Demons? It's we're a good Christian country. We don't want that sort of thing going on here, sir.
Oh, God, no, I don't write about them in a positive way, much like the Bible would write about demons as terrible creatures that need to be dealt with and punished, but also need to be recognized, because if we don't know our enemy, then our enemy will know us. You see what I'm saying?
Do you hear what he says, Ron? There's demons outside. We've got to stay in here. Oh, my God. Are you going to get rid of them, sir? Are you going to get rid of the demons for us, sir?
Yeah, I'm certainly going to try, but that's what my friends over there are for.
Right.
And I'll point over at Darian and Dr. Marquette.
And
Specifically Dr. Marquette.
That's what Dr. Marquette's for. Very, very good with that kind of thing.
What are you folks doing at the bar? You have your brandy. He served that before he disappeared to his fine wine cellar, of course. Darian? Dr. Marquette?
Darian is probably just chatting to whoever is serving at the bar and just kind of looking around, trying to get a feel for the place.
He's gone. You're literally standing at a bar with a brandy.
With a brandy. Just kind of looking around, trying to get a feel for the place and trying to get a feel for the mood, particularly. To see
Solemn, I would
how
say.
the solemn. Is there like the kind of the tension that the old lady with the shotgun and her cousins displayed?
There is, but give me a psychology roll. Let's see if you can read the room.
Okay. That was a failure, unfortunately, of 51 against 10.
You would probably assume that these people are feeling the same as you. A little scared, but visually you can see there's nothing coming to get them. So, comforted. Scared but comforted, you would suggest.
Well, it's not terribly lively, is it, Dr. Marquette?
Seems to be that this inclement weather has kept people away. Odd, as this is one of the drier parts of the town. And Dr. Marquette is also casting an eye across the bar room, trying to see whether she can see the vicar as well. And just thinking through the thoughts of thinking through the events of the evening so far. And as she sips on her brandy, she suddenly has a thought. She thinks back to her collection of biological and animal specimens.
Very well,
and remembers a tale that she was once told about a sculptor called Edwin Landseer. And it suddenly clicks. The Black Lion. The Black Lions of Trafalgar Square. Edwin Landseer was the sculptor behind the Black Lions of Trafalgar Square. And in order to have a model, he asked for a recently deceased lion from London Zoo. Unfortunately, he took so long in order to complete the preliminary sketches that the lion started to decompose, so he had to make it up. And that is why, if you go to Trafalgar Square, the lion's paws actually look like cat paws and not lions. And the doctor just mulls this over in her mind and thinks, this hybrid of the statues, it's really a representation of this hybrid of the atmosphere of London. This one small part of London that seems to be stuck in its own time, stuck in its own decay. The rest of London vibrant. This small corner of London, there's something not quite right. It's not supernatural. It's not ghosts. There's something going on with their minds here.
Something not quite right. And not quite right is the drinks that are served in front of you. 3 tumblers, was it? With 3 different types of unlabeled wine. And Mr. Asok, right, well, there you go. There's your wine. Are you going to drink it now, or would you like me to take it up into your flint?
Oh, I think we can find a nice table, have a nice little sit down, and a nice little drinky.
Very well, very well. No, I mean, please, by all means, make yourselves at home. Our place is your place, and yes. I mean, what brings you to Hammersmith? Are you business or pleasure?
Purely business. We are seeking out the good Reverend Collins.
Oh, I see. Business it is it? Right. What profession, may I ask, are you?
Sorry, I think you just cut out. I didn't hear what you said.
What profession are you, if I might inquire, miss?
Doctor.
Oh, doctor,
Dr.
right. Oh, you should have said. Well, the wine is on the house. I wouldn't pay for that myself. But, right, so you're here to see the Reverend, are you?
We are indeed.
Right.
We are wondering whether you might be able to direct us to his church, or at least his current whereabouts.
Well, his church is at the top of the street. If you can find your way in it, you have to watch out for that shotgun grenade. You'll blow your bloody head off. No, yes,
we've met.
But
what is her name?
Her name is Ethel. Ethel Brandywine. She's quite the firebrand. She is. I took some rubbish out the other night. I was wearing a big white shirt, and she took a shot at me. I was so glad it wasn't the real bullets. Nearly gave me a heart attack. But no, she is. I guess she's keeping our streets safe after everything what has happened. But yes, you say the Reverend. if we go and if you take a look at roll 20, he indicates a doorway here, which seems to lead to a second story. If you,
I think maybe we should pay the Reverend a visit. Is he currently occupied upstairs?
oh no, he's all by himself, sir.
And is he receiving visitors?
Not sure what you mean, but I'm sure to be very pleased to see you if that's what you're asking.
Well, in
He
that
looks a
case,
little perplexed.
I feel we probably should make our way to see the Reverend. That is, after all, why we are here. Ghost tales or no ghost tales, we have to verify a letter.
Very well. Kirk, you see Dr. Marquette making their way to what appears to be a staircase at the side of the bar.
I suppose I'm mid-conversation. I'll stop myself. And the demon with black eyes and red fiery skin loomed.
Gladys and Ron are terrified looking at you.
And it was just about to bite there. Oh, if you'll excuse me for one moment, my friend seems to be a little lost.
What did they do? What did happen?
No. I'll save it for part 2. I'll be back.
Oh,
You
my
will
Lord.
stay here chatting nicely. Don't do
Mr.
anything.
McDougal,
All right.
if you have finished peddling your hokum and bunkum, we're about to go and see whether we can find the good Reverend, who I believe is upstairs. Are you coming, sir?
Indeed. Just out of curiosity, Dr. Marquette, would you say to the good Reverend about his Lord and Saviour, hokum and bunkum, or is that a scientific fact for you?
The good
Please do
Lord-
tell all of us here listening in this public house this evening.
Darren, you
Once in her
know
life.
this could be quite a long conversation. Would you like to interject?
Well, hokum and bunkum or not, it's a dashed good story, I'm sure.
How's that fence, Darian?
Uh,
The big
well,
fence
the
you're
wine
sitting
looks
on.
very good.
Ah, the wine.
The wine is good.
Well, that's one thing we can all agree on.
Let's take the wine and take some up for our vicar friend, shall we?
I think that's the most sensible thing you
Capital
said all
idea.
evening.
Capital idea. Oh, and I owe a bottle of good brandy for that dear lady with her shotgun and her two terribly strapping cousins.
Suppose as we're going up, Keeper, I'd like
Cousins.
to,
Right,
just
okay,
as we're
cousins.
walking up, just say to Darian,
Right. The game is, Darian, I want you to be able to rate these in terms of quality. And then once you've done that, we'll speak to Mr. Osirk and we'll find out whether you actually know what you're talking about. Dr. Marquette, is that a fine way to analyze and evaluate the success of these wines?
A most scientific method, sir. A most scientific method. Would you care to wager on it? On the success of our good friend Darian?
I absolutely bloody would.
And shillings are passed.
Shillings are passed.
Why do I feel I'm being set up here?
Are you drinking these downstairs or are you taking them upstairs?
I think we're making Darian drink them on the way up. So if we're
All
testing,
three held like
if we're
that.
testing wine one, Dr. Marquette and myself might have a sip, but we're going, no, go, Darian, go on, try wine one again. And there's Darian's wine one, Kirk's wine one, Marquette's wine one, and then right, time to try wine 3, and then it's wine 3, then wine 2, and just to mix it up a bit. But essentially, I think Darian ends up drinking the majority of all 3 tumblers of each of the wines, whereas Kirk and Marquette probably just have a few sips.
Marvellous. I shall ask for a constitution roll later. Don't let me forget. And after these drinks are being consumed, you say on the way up. Marvellous. Okay, if I can direct you to roll 20, I shall move you across to the upstairs room. Hopefully you can see that upstairs room as you walk into the room and you see lying on a table a reverend.
Oh, dear God.
Dr. Marquette, would you like to give me a medicine roll with a bonus dice?
Dr. Marquette rushes straight over to the Reverend lying on the table. No thought of hesitation crosses her mind, and without the bonus die, that's an 8 under 70.
I'm
which
not
is an
entirely
extreme
sure
success.
you can get any better than that. This man is dead. As the gong rings, that brings us to the end of Act 1, the Hammersmith Haunting. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much to Sirenscape for the sounds you've been hearing, Roll20 for the tabletop platform we are using, and of course Dungeon Fog, whose maps you are seeing being used on the Hammersmith Haunting tonight. Thank you very much, and we'll see you all again soon.
Thank you for joining us for Act 1 of The Hammersmith Haunting by Cat Clay. If you have enjoyed this episode, then please leave a review wherever you've watched or listened to this production. And if you'd like to support us further, please take a look at our Ko-fi. That's ko-fi.com/Miskatonic Playhouse, and our website, miskatonicplayhouse.com. You can find us on all social media platforms with links found in the show notes. Until next time, when the curtain rises again.